Hey, good morning to you. Welcome back. You are still watching Morning Live. Now, today we take a look at a sporting code that for some, they believe that it has struggled to make the necessary growth in South Africa in order to be considered one of the major sporting codes. But it's a sport that has a presence in different parts of society, and this is handball. We've roped in Nompumelelo Ntshangase, who is the president of the South African Handball Federation, to bring some context to us in terms of the state of handball in South Africa. Because welcome, good morning, thank you so much for joining us this morning. When you look at handball and you look at the fact that it is actually an Olympic sport, but it seems like we've taken a little bit of time as South Africans to somewhat get into the sporting code and get a hang of it.
Yes, good morning, South Africans. Yes, the handball in South Africa, we are still struggling. They still have that challenge, especially after the COVID. However, before COVID, the level was a little bit high based on the funding and also on the support from the international handball, because they managed one of the time to get the gold medal on one of the tournaments that we hosted in 2005 at Soshanguve, Pretoria, where it was part of its development. But after the COVID, the handball performance in provinces dropped a lot. It dropped a lot. Hence, we are struggling even to get the funding, the necessary funding, and also on the stakeholders. The exposure is one of the things that we are a challenge. That is a challenge in this code, because it's not visible. Most of the people, they don't know what is handball.
Because umubheka, the first thing abantu abazoyisho is ukuthi we look at handball, exactly how is it played, and one would say it's possibly a combination of a little bit of netball and basketball, because with the netball it's you using your hands to throw the ball around, but you have that ability to run with the ball as well, which we don't see happening in netball. So if you had to explain handball to a child that doesn't understand the sport, what would you say to them? Would you say it is a combination of netball and basketball together?
Yes, handball is the combination of the soccer, the basketball, the hockey,
and
yes, and also the volleyball. Because remember, we are also having a beach handball where you play on the sand like volleyball. So the only thing it's matching mostly to hockey, because there are 7 players that are playing inside. One is a goalkeeper, that's where the soccer comes in. And then netball and basketball, they are passing each other. They are bouncing, they are dribbling the ball. But the objective of handball is to shoot.
The ball must find the back of the net, like it does in football. Let's talk about a tournament that you've got coming up out in Gqeberha to try and promote the sport of handball in South Africa. Talk to me about this tournament. Who are we expecting to see there? I know that when we look at handball from a national point of view, we've got the under-17s team, the under-19 as well as the seniors. But right now it's a provincial competition you've got going down to Gqeberha?
Yes. The tournament that we are having in Gqeberha is for seniors, both genders, where we expect all the provinces and also the associates to participate on that tournament. The reason why we hosted at Gqeberha, we are trying to take the sport to the rural. As previously in February, we hosted the juniors at Limpopo, Sikukune. So you can see that currently our main focus is to take back our code to the rural areas. And also to add on that, the tournament that we are hosting in Gqeberha is part of retuning our senior and our legend athletes to come back to the court, so that they will display and transfer the skills to the youth.
All right, I get that. So the whole point of it is to get the seniors more involved, but also giving them an opportunity to inspire the next generation of upcoming handball players.
Yes.
And I know, President, that you touched a lot on the fact that funding is a problem from a Handball South Africa perspective. So that would lead me to assume that we're definitely not going to Paris 2024. As a handball, are we competing? And if we're not, what are we doing to try and make sure that we get to a position where we can get into the Olympics and we can compete at that level?
Yes, currently, handball, we are still struggling in terms of funding because we are only relying on the Department of Sport funding and also to the international funding. Remember, handball is not one of those 16 priority code, of which is a problem.
From a national point of view?
Yes, it's a problem. It's a stumbling block to mainly of sporting code. Because when you knock on stakeholders, they will say you are not part of the priority 16 code. So today, I want to send a message to SASCOC and also to the Department of Sport to review that 16 code list because it frustrates us on the grass level. Because even at school, remember the minister vows also about the school sport.
Our former Minister of Sport, yes.
Yes, the former one. He indicated that we need to take sports to schools. But when you are reaching the schools, they will say again, you are not part of those priority code. So, and the school is where is the foundation of any code, where we identify the skills and develop and promote the sport.
Indeed.
So we are pleading to say, SASCOC, please consider our request.
Well, I'm sure SASCOC is watching and perhaps they will make that consideration. But thank you so much, President, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, thank you.
The President of the South African Federation of Handball in South Africa. Big tournament taking place in Gqeberha this weekend, looking at the legends as well as the seniors and, of course, trying to build for the future and get to a level eventually where handball can go and compete for South Africa in the Olympics.